Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I am very sorry. I think I made a mistake when I was filming this. I made a mistake while I was editing this, so the intro is not good. So this is my new intro. This video is basically, I'm just gonna give you the commands that you need to just feel comfortable working in the terminal. This is part one. This is just part one of two. Part two has not even been filmed yet. Before that part two comes out, I'm going to be also releasing this part one of using Git, so that's already filmed. I need to edit that as well. Alright, that's it for me. Thank you, and I hope this has helped you in some way, shape, or form. Goodbye. Now here is my screen. If you're someone who's not really familiar with your terminal, you're most likely using Finder to navigate and create folders and files like such, right? I mean, Finder's great. You can always like look for, you can always search for a folder and you can get there, and that's fine. But the terminal is a powerful tool that you can use to navigate through your files and folders or your working directories, manage access and rights, and it's like fast, it's seamless, it's easy, it's quick, and you can add so many different commands and shortcuts to make your experience seamless. Right, so here we have this YouTube terminal tutorial open in our Finder. So I have my terminal right over here, but if you're new to this, then you probably won't have your terminal on your dock. So we can just use our Spotlight search. Start searching terminal. Boom. There we go. Open that. Beautiful. Cool. So we have our terminal. I'm going to put this over here, this over here. This is open in our YouTube tutorial. Now let me show you a few little basic commands in terminal, and then we'll get into that YouTube terminal tutorial folder. So right now I'm just going to make this a little bigger so you can see. So right now we're in our home directory. You're going to see this little squiggle. This is just a placeholder for like user / the current user that you are. We'll also call this our home directory. Directories are, you can, when I say directory, just think of your folders in Finder. So the first command I'm going to show you is pwd, which stands for print working directory. This is going to show you exactly where you are. So anytime you're confused about where you are in your terminal, you can just type pwd. It will tell you exactly where you are, user / Alexander Shellshare. The next command I'm going to show you is ls. This will list all of the folders and files inside of that directory. However, there is such a thing as a hidden file, which is preceded with a dot or period, and those don't show up for basic ls commands, and they also don't show up in Finder unless there's a setting that you can switch in Finder that'll allow you to see those hidden files. But here, I'll show you ls-a will show us all of our files and folders, including the hidden files. You see, like, all of these are hidden files and folders. Here's the trash. Our bash profile is pretty important. This is how I'm able to customize my bash. So that looks the way it does. You see, this is like, I spent a little bit of time customizing mine so it looks this way, right? Cool. So now we've listed all of our files that are in this directory, and we've also learned how to print the full path to our current working directory. Sweet, right? So now we see this YouTube terminal tutorial right here, which is also what we have open in our Finder. How do we get to that? That'll be with the command called cd, which means change directory. So cd will take the path to the folder that you want to change directories to. cd, now that we see that we have this YouTube terminal tutorial right here in this directory, we can cd into it. Boom. So now we are in YouTube terminal tutorial. If you haven't customized your terminal, your bash, your profile, you might not see something like this. You might, but you might not. I have mine so that it tells me where I am at all times. But if you don't have that, that's fine. That's why we learned about the the PW. If you don't have that, that's fine. That's why we learned about PWD, print working directory, to show us exactly where we are. Sweet. If we ended up going into the wrong folder, or we just want to get one level up, we can do cd ... That'll say, okay, let me go one level up. Right? So dot always means, we actually even saw the dot and the ... here when we listed all of our folders. Dot means the current directory that I'm in. ... means the parent directory. So our parent directory of this YouTube terminal tutorial is home. So if we did cd ... we'll get right back to our home directory, which is represented with the squiggly. Right? PWD is always a good way to check. We can ls to see all of these folders. So now let's cd back into that YouTube terminal tutorial. Cool thing about the terminal is that you can start typing out the name of the directory you're trying to go into, and then hit the tab. This is going to autofill super fast, super easy. You don't have to add anything special for that. It just does that for you, and I think it's super neat. So now we're in here. Now I'm going to show you how to make new files and new folders with simple commands. So mkdir is the command to make a directory. So let's try to make example 1. And look, it shows up right here in our Finder because it's quick. It happens really fast. We have the name of the folder. We can even go in here in our Finder right now and just for an example, okay, so we're in a good place. And then we can back out here in Finder, but we see we've made it. Cool thing about this mkdir, make directory command, is that you can pass it multiple arguments. And when I say that, you can give it multiple names and it will create the corresponding amount of folders. So we can mkdir example 2, example 3, example 4, boom, and we've created these 4. Now we have 4 folders. Example 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think that's pretty cool. I think everything's pretty cool, hey? So cool. mkdir, we pass it multiple arguments, and that produced the corresponding files. We gave it these names. So that's awesome. What do we do if we want to... Okay, I'll take a step back. Real quick, what do we do if we want to change the name of a folder? There's a command mv, which is to move. So this is how you can move folders and files around. If we did mv, the first command is the item we want to move. So I'm going to move example 4 into example 3. Right? right? So we did MV example for example 3, and we saw that happen real time over here. If we enter that example 3 folder, we're going to see the example 4 folder. Sweet. What does that have to do with changing the names of files? Well, if you do MV and a name of a file, right? MV example 1, and then you give it a name that it does not recognize in this current directory, then it'll assume that you're not trying to move the folder, but you're actually trying to change its name. So I'm going to change example 1 to E1, and then that changes real time. So MV is for moving folders and files around, and it's also for changing the names of the files and folders. Right, so now I'm going to let us cd, let's change directories into example 1, right? And I'm going to show you how to create files. So I'm going to touch a file. Touch is a command to create a file. So remember, Mkdir make directory is for making a directory, a folder. Touch is for creating a file. So if I did touch, let's see, hello world.txt, then our E1 will have a text file that says hello world. Cool. So touch creates files. That's awesome. We just have to give it the name of the file, dot, and then the extension of the file. And then we're all set. Right, so let's see. Let me touch another. Touch works the same way as mkdir, where you can pass it multiple names, and it'll create the corresponding files. So I'm going to do hello2.txt and hello3.txt. Cool. And then we can, I have hello world and then I have hello2 and hello3. I wanted hello2 to be hello world2. So we can do that mv command, hello2, and boom. So now we've changed hello2 to hello world2.txt. And I'm not quite fond of that hello3.txt, so I want to delete it. Now the command that we use to delete a file is rm, and then the name of the file. hello3.txt, adios. This rm command will delete it. It's not going to show up in our trash, it's just going to be deleted. Okay? So when you do the rm command, make sure that you actually want to remove that file or folder. Cool. So now we can cd out of this E1. Oop. Right, ls. Well, if we were in E1, we can always ls to see that everything is happening. I just have the Finder here so you could see the changes happening real time in Finder. PWD will always show us the path to our working directory. Right, so we have E1, example 2, example 3. I want to change E1's name back. I'm sorry, I'm trying to not yawn right now. I want to change example E1's name back to example 1. So that same command, mv E1 example 1, and that is changed real time. ls will show us what it is, and our Finder will reflect that. And if we want to remove example 2, what we do. We could try rm example 2. Okay, so we could try rm example 2, but this is not going to work because rm is the command to remove a file and not a folder. I mean, rm will remove a folder, but you have to give it a special flag to do so, right? It'll say rm example 2 is a directory. So we can't just use plain simple basic rm to remove a directory. We have to do rm-r, and then we can do example 2. Boom, and now example 2 is gone. Right, so what have we learned now? We've learned how to see what directory we're currently in with pwd. We've learned how to list all of the folders and files inside of a directory with ls. We've also learned how to change directories with cd, which will take us into or out of a directory. We've learned how to rename a file with mv, keeping in mind that it'll take the file or folder that we want to move or rename, and then the second argument, we'll give it the second argument. The second argument, if it sees that name inside of this directory, then it'll assume that you want to move that. It'll assume that you want to move that directory into another folder. If it does not see that name in this current directory, then it will change the name. Segue. I'm editing this like a couple weeks after filming, and I'm not sure if I explained that properly. Basically, when you do that, like mv, your current file name, and then a second file name, right? First, it looks. What I'm saying is that it looks inside of, like, because like this file is inside of a folder, right? It looks on that same level and see if any of the sibling files and or sibling folders has that same name as that second argument that you've given it, right? So if I'm trying to move apple.txt, okay, so listen, we have a folder called apple. We have a sibling folder called basket. If I do mv apple basket, it's gonna look for all the sibling folders, and it'll check to see if there's a sibling named basket. If there's no sibling named basket, it will rename apple to basket. But because there is a sibling named basket, it will move apple inside of the basket, the folder named basket. I think that's a clearer, cleaner way to describe this. I'm not sure. You let me know in the comments. This is just for extra clarity. I hope this helps. Okay. Cool. So here we just changed the name, and now we want to move example 1 into example 3, and now we can change directories into example 3, and we'll see example 1 and example 4. Cool. We've learned a lot, right? We can even list the items inside of another folder by giving. So ls will just automatically print what is inside of our current working directory. It'll also take another argument, which is the path to a folder, or it'll essentially, it's a path, and it'll list all of the items inside of that folder that we've given it. So now I've given it the example 1, and it listed everything that's in example 1, even though we are in the example 3 folder, which doesn't have the Hello World's text files. The Hello World text files are inside of the EX1. All right, cool, cool. Real quick stuff. This is just the very basics of the basics. I think possibly next week I can show you more advanced commands where you can give like reading and writing access to files and stuff like that. If you want, let me know in the comments. If you also want me to give you a customizing your bash and terminal video, I can do that for you as well. But the next video that I'm putting out will be GitHub, Gitflow. But other than that, I think that is a wrap for this video. That's a wrap for this video. I'll show you something really cool real quick. So there are multiple flags, ls-l, ls-a, ls-h, and we can put them all together, which will show us the reading and writing access, all the access that we have to a folder or file will be here. It'll show us how much space this file or folder is taking up, when it was modified, and yeah, and who made this, and who was like the user that made this change. Cool, cool, cool. Another thing, if we just did cd right here, you see we're in example 3, and cd ... would take us one level up. But no matter how far down we go, like let's say if I'm in example 4, if I just did cd home, I could do cd with the little squiggly, or I could do cd like this, and it'll take us all the way to the home directory. So that's also, I think that's also pretty neat. All right, that is it for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you like this video. Subscribe if you like it. And if you have any suggestions for me on how I can, I don't know, teach these topics better, because I feel like maybe this was a bit rocky, just let me know. I'm fine with that. Put it down, write it down in the comments, and I will see you when I post next.